Who were the Nephilim? This question has intrigued people. For many centuries it has persisted. They are mysterious figures indeed. Ancient writings speak of them. They describe them as giants, mighty beings of the past. Their story invites our exploration. The Holy Bible mentions these beings. Other ancient texts also refer to them. They appear in very old stories. Legends often describe their great size and their truly fearsome power. Were they entirely human, or were they something else? Their precise origin is debated still. Scholars offer many different views. The interpretations can vary widely. Some see them as partly divine, others consider them human kings, or perhaps they were a mix. The ancient texts are not always clear. This makes their study challenging, but it is also very rewarding. Understanding the Nephilim is important. It helps unlock ancient worldviews. It shows us how people thought about gods, humans, and evil. Their story held deep meaning. It significantly shaped religious beliefs, and it influenced many mythologies. Let us now delve into their world. The book of Genesis is a vital source. Chapter 6 gives us our first clue. It speaks of the sons of God, and it mentions the daughters of men. These groups had children together. These children were called the Nephilim. They were the mighty men of old, men of renown, the ancient text says. Later, the book of Numbers refers to them. Chapter 13 includes a mention. Israelite spies reported seeing giants. They saw them in the land of Canaan. The spies exclaimed, "We saw the Nephilim there." The descendants of Anak, they said. These came from the Nephilim. This report caused great fear among the people. The book of Enoch expands on this greatly. It is an extra-biblical Jewish text. It provides details about the Watchers. These Watchers were angels, it claims. They descended from heaven to earth. They taught humanity forbidden knowledge, and they fathered giant offspring with women. These offspring were the Nephilim. These giants brought terrible chaos to earth. The book of Enoch says they devoured mankind. They sinned against birds, beasts, and fish. Their violence and corruption filled the world. This was a primary reason for God's judgment. The Great Flood was the direct result. This narrative is extremely detailed. It influenced many later writers and thinkers. One main interpretation is very well known. It suggests the sons of God were angels. These were angels who fell from grace. They are naturally mated with human women. Their children were the hybrid Nephilim. This is often called the angelic interpretation. It is a view with ancient roots. The book of Enoch clearly supports this idea. Another prominent view exists among scholars. This is commonly known as the Sethite view. In this reading, the sons of God were men. They were from the righteous lineage of Seth. Seth was Adam and Eve's third son. The daughters of men were from Cain's line. Their intermarriage was religiously problematic, but not supernatural in its origin. A third idea is also frequently proposed. The sons of God were powerful human rulers. They were perhaps kings or nobles. These men took women as they pleased. They may have even claimed divine status. Their children were mighty warriors or tyrants. This is a more human-centered view. It seeks to avoid direct angelic involvement. These scholarly debates are highly significant. Each different view changes the core meaning of Genesis chapter 6, a crucial passage, and it affects the understanding of sin. Was the sin a cosmic angelic rebellion, or was it primarily human social corruption? Understanding these distinctions helps us to interpret the biblical narrative carefully. One main interpretation is well known. It suggests the sons of God were angels. These were angels who fell from grace. They mated with human women. Their children were the Nephilim. This is the angelic interpretation. It has ancient roots. The book of Enoch supports this idea. Another view is the Sethite view. The sons of God were men from the lineage of Seth. Seth was Adam and Eve's third son. The daughters of men were from Cain's line. Their intermarriage was problematic, but not supernatural. A third idea is proposed. The sons of God were rulers, perhaps kings or nobles. They took women as they pleased. They may have claimed divine status. Their children were warriors or tyrants. This is a human-centered view, avoiding angelic involvement. These debates are significant. Each view changes the meaning of Genesis chapter 6 and affects understanding of sin. Was it a cosmic rebellion or human social corruption? Understanding these helps us to interpret the narrative carefully. Section 4. The significance of the Nephilim understanding ancient worldviews. The story of the Nephilim is very important. It shows ancient concerns about boundaries being crossed. the boundary between divine and human realms. This transgression was seen as dangerous. It was believed to lead to chaos. Cosmic and social order was highly valued. The Nephilim represented this disorder. They explained great evil and corruption on earth, especially before the flood. Their violent nature was key. The world became thoroughly corrupt, Genesis says. God saw this pervasive wickedness. The flood was a divine cleansing response. The Nephilim connect to many other myths. Numerous ancient cultures have tales of giants. These giants are often depicted as powerful. Sometimes they are heroic, sometimes monstrous. The Nephilim fit this ancient pattern. They were figures of great awe, and they were also figures of fear. Their legendary legacy is widespread. Studying the Nephilim reveals a great deal. It tells us about ancient cosmologies, the enduring problem of evil explored, the complex nature of divine justice. These are timeless human questions. The Nephilim story engages deeply with them. Section 5, Conclusion. Unmasking the giants of a bygone era. So, who exactly were the Nephilim? The ancient texts clearly describe them as the offspring of divine beings and mortal human women. They were known as giants, strong warriors. The Bible calls them mighty men of old. Their very presence was seen as disruptive. They are intrinsically linked to corruption and chaos. Scholars continue to offer different views. Were they fallen angels or Sethite men, or perhaps powerful, arrogant human rulers? Each of these interpretations has textual support. The ancient source texts can be read in these various distinct ways. The academic debate continues even today. This only adds to their enduring mystery. Regardless of their precise biological origin, the Nephilim were profoundly significant figures. They represented transgression and illicit union, a dangerous and destructive mixing of realms. Their dramatic story often served as a warning about maintaining divine and moral boundaries, and about the dire consequences of sin. This moral dimension made them memorable. The Nephilim, therefore, were much more than just simple mythical giants or monsters. They were a key conceptual part of ancient explanations for pervasive evil and for the necessity of divine judgment. Their strange and compelling tale still fascinates us. They remain a mysterious, potent chapter in humanity's rich and ancient spiritual past.